Time for the only radio show of its kind. Auctioneers of antiques, collectors of cool, veterans of vintage. It's the Donley Auctions Hour on AM 560, The Answer. For the next hour, enjoy great information about buying and selling antiques and collectibles, and some interesting stories. Now, the Donley Auctions Hour.
Welcome to the Donley Auctions Hour. Thank you for joining us. We are here every Saturday from 1 to 2 o'clock. Unlike Seinfeld, the show about nothing, we have a show about something, don't we, Randy?
That we do, Susan. A lot to talk about.
That's right. I'm Susan, and I'm here with Randy Donley. We are the owners of Donley Auctions in Union, Illinois. We're just 60 miles west of Chicago. So we're here today to help you determine if you have any valuable items at home that you may want to sell at auction. But we also have a guest today.
Oh, my goodness. One of my best friends in the antiques world, and that's Greg Grams, the owner of the Volo Auto Museum.
In Volo, Illinois. That's right. You've known him for,
50 years.
50 years. Yes, so Greg will be coming up in our next segment, so don't go anywhere just yet. But we're going to talk a little bit today about an auction we have coming up in July. It's our guns, ammunition, and military relics auction.
Yeah, that we'll be talking about. But, Susan, as you know, we've been mentioning on the show lately about the Donley Group, which is our real estate enterprise that we've entered into with the Donley Auctions. And my goodness, the phone calls that we've been getting. Thank you, everybody, for actually listening to our show and calling us. We've, Susan, since our last show, we've visited several properties in Arlington Heights, and we get so many phone calls out of Arlington Heights. Thank you, Arlington Heights. But there's a lot of activity going on with people selling homes and everything right now, and with the announcement of the Bears stadium.
That's right.
It's just crazy. The real estate boom in Arlington Heights is amazing. And then Shauna and I were just out to sign up a home in Brookfield, Illinois. The gentleman had originally called us on some antique guns and a coin collection and so on and so forth. But then when he heard our show that we do real estate also, he called us back and said, "Hey, wait a minute, we got to sign up the house right away."
That's right. We do it all. Kind of a one-stop shop, aren't we?
You got it.
That's right. So we'll welcome Shauna Donley. She'll be back later on in the show today to talk a little bit more about that. And let's talk about the July auction. I mentioned the firearms auction coming up July 15th and 16th. Mark your calendars. It's a Saturday and a Sunday. Randy, is it too late for our listeners to consign to this upcoming auction? No.
We've got plenty of time, and as we always say, if you've got firearms and ammo and military relics, all kinds of gun-related collectibles, we can do it all for you. We can certainly sell it for you, and if you need us to come pick it up, we're there.
Like that 80-year-old guy who called, "I'm not driving out there. You come.
You got to come pick it up.
We'll be right there, sir. No problem."
And that we did. And we ended up picking up about 30 weapons out of his home. And that's the beauty. We can sell, any quantity, whether you have one or two or whether you have 200. It just is not an issue. And it's so nice because when we sell for you at auction, it's all at one time. You're not piecing them out one at a time and taking a year or 2 years to do it. We can have everything gone in one auction, one week, boom, it's all gone. And then you're paid inside 30 days.
That's right. And yesterday I talked to a potential consignor who has 100 boxes of military items. Okay, that's a lot of stuff, right? I don't think we'll have it ready for July. So I said, why don't you give us a test drive? We'll take a couple boxes here and there.
Sure.
Test drive them in July. We can get that together, no problem. And then we can run another auction later on this year. So that'll give us more time to piece all that out. But
firearms has become a full 1/3 of our business here. The firearm gun industry is so booming right now that in auction world for us, it has just really been all consuming.
That's right.
1/3 of our business is now guns and
that's
firearms.
why we have Neil, our gun expert, as an employee with us. He knows everything about firearms. So if you do have any questions about anything you have in your possession that you'd like to sell at auction, give us a call at 815-923-7000 and ask for Neil.
Yep.
He will walk you through the next steps.
And this particular auction is really the July auction is really a highlight because we've got so much fun stuff. I mean, along with all the usual sporting weapons. I mean, we've got hunting, we've got military, we've got black guns, modern technology. You name it, we've got it, rifles, pistols, shotguns. But we've got some really interesting pieces. I mean, we have Wyatt Earp's pistol and vest. I mean, Wyatt Earp, of all people. We have Clyde Barrow's pistol from the Bonnie and Clyde fame. I mean, it's just crazy, great stuff that is going to be auctioned off in July.
I can't wait for it. It's one of my favorite auctions. We just have so many people in attendance. You can come live to the auction. You can call us. We can do phone bids, absentee bids, and you can bid online. We'll talk more about that in a later segment today.
Yeah, we even have Pretty Boy Floyd. Pretty Boy Floyd, his watch and ring when Pretty Boy Floyd was actually shot and killed. They took possessions off of him, but the FBI actually returned these pieces to his family.
I didn't know that.
And his family then, of course, has now sold them off, and we are auctioning them again in July.
Is that going to be on Saturday or Sunday, those items? Are they under the military day or the gun day?
I don't know that answer, so what you're going to want to do is go to DonleyAuctions.com.
That's right.
And you'll be able to view the entire catalog. And
yep, we'll have that up in the next week, I'm hoping. That's the plan.
As I was looking at these interesting pieces of gangster-related memorabilia, callers, please call us and let us know. There must be so much crime-related gangster-type memorabilia in the Chicago homes and everything in the suburbs, because, I mean, this was the Al Capone headquarters,
That's
Chicago, right. And Chicago is so well known for its gangster history. I mean, from years ago, from the 20s and 30s, and
we've had Al Capone items already.
Oh, my goodness. We even sold one of Al Capone's bars to one of our favorite people in the world, Ron Onesti.
That's right, at the Arcata. It is displayed proudly in the Rock and Ravioli part of the Arcata Theater in St. Charles, if you want to visit the Al Capone bar.
It is. I mean, if you want, you can literally go to one of Al Capone's true bars. Now, everybody claims they had an Al Capone bar. I mean, but this one is well documented. I mean, the paperwork and everything. We always talk about provenance, but this bar at the Arcata, owned now by Ron Onesti, has all the paperwork, proving if you want to sit at an actual Al Capone bar, that's the place to go. And his entertainment that they have at the Arcata is legendary.
Right. And
Just
Ron
phenomenal.
has it decorated beautifully. And every time I go over there, you got that at one of our auctions. You got that one at one of our auctions. There's a lot of beautiful antiques in there that he did buy at Donley Auctions.
Ron
Thank
has
you,
been
Ron.
a good customer, yes.
That's right. What else do we have coming up? How about this antique camera auction? I know we touched on it briefly, but I want to let everybody know we do have many auctions scheduled yet this year.
Well, and if you do have cameras and other memorabilia like motion picture items and motion picture cameras, projectors and everything, you won't be able to get into this particular auction, but we already, because of the amount of merchandise we have, we're already scheduling another one.
Oh, okay.
So yes, we are taking, cameras and more equipment, but it won't go into this auction. This is the International Photography Hall of Fame out of St. Louis, and we're selling the entire collection.
That's right. And that antique camera auction is scheduled for September 9th and 10th. So mark your calendars for that. We'll have some more information on our website at DonleyAuctions.com regarding all of our upcoming auctions. Even our November auction, which we hold every year, the Fall Classic, coming up November 16th to 18th.
Right. And that's, of course, where we're going to be also selling the JFK assassination collection. what a grouping of JFK memorabilia. So if you have JFK collectibles or interesting pieces that you think you might want to get into this auction, call us at
815-923-7000. What do we always say, Randy? Bring us your collection and we'll make it fit into your wallet.
That we can.
That's right. So don't go anywhere, folks. We're going to have a special guest coming up next. Like I mentioned earlier, Greg Grams, the founder and owner of Volo Museum in Volo, Illinois. Wow, they're expanding like crazy. I can't wait to hear what they've got planned.
I can't wait to get them on the air because
they've got events almost every weekend. So make sure you check their website as well. We'll talk to Greg in just a second. But right now, you're listening to the Donley Auctions Hour here on AM 560, The Answer. Greg Graham's coming up. We'll be talking about how to consign and how to bid at all of our future auctions. Don't go anywhere.
They've been called auctioneers of antiques, collectors of cool, even veterans of vintage. And they can introduce themselves. Thanks for listening. This is the Donley Auctions Hour on AM 560, The Answer.
Welcome back to the Donley Auctions Hour. I'm Susan, co-owner of Donley Auctions in Union, Illinois. I'm here with Randy Donley, my partner. And we have a special guest on the line, Greg Grams, the founder and owner of Volo Museum in Volo since 1960, mega collector and buyer. Greg Grams, thanks for coming on our show today.
Well, thanks for having me on.
Greg, it's so funny because off the air we were just saying we've known each other for 50 years, but that's impossible, right? Because we're not that old.
Right. I mean, we're 50 years old. How could we have known each other? I know. I was going back to that, and I came thinking, I even asked my wife, I'm thinking, I've known Randy since the 70s, but that can't be. It's got to be like 80s, but
no, it goes way back there. And even before that, my family had a little summer home in Antioch, and on our way from Berwyn to Antioch, we'd stop at Volo. I mean, it was a highlight for my father being a collector. We always, of course, we started in the gas station business, and you, of course, specialized even way back then. You had antique
in the
cars.
Junk business.
Oh,
yeah.
No.
Okay. We call them antique cars today, yeah.
Exactly. All those great antique cars. When you think about going back and even finding some of the stuff you had years ago, I mean, it's just incredible. So,
Randy, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, tell us what all's going on at Volo. I mean, we just cannot believe Volo Auto. I mean, how crazy you guys have expanded over the years. Just it goes on and on and on, and it just goes way beyond antique cars nowadays.
Yeah. Well, what started all, Randy, was the car sales. The car sales is what fuels the entertainment, the attractions over here, and enables us to buy. Luckily, we were able to buy a lot of rare, cool stuff, I call it, back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s when you could still, buy cool stuff. But anyway, the cars is what fuels it. And we are constantly looking for different things over here. Now, recently, we just opened up the dinosaur park. It was nice during the COVID. We were able to actually close for a year and a half. But anyway, we built a dinosaur park, all indoors, climate controlled. Got the mini golf course that's going to be opening this July.
You know what?
Then we go ahead.
One of my staff members, when he heard me talking to you, said, "Oh my God, I just can't wait to get my son out to the dinosaur park." He said, "We're going to buy a 2-day pass and stay there for a couple days." I mean, they're just so excited to see this dinosaur exhibit.
Let me jump into and let our listeners know you got to go to the Volo Museum. You can get tickets at volocars.com. A little plug for our friends here.
Okay.
Yep. All right. Thank you.
So,
tell
us more. Tell us more about what's happening.
Well, the dinosaur park, that's been open now since the pandemic's been over with. That is a really cool place. It's all indoors, and again, it's all climate controlled. So if it's a rainy day, originally it was supposed to be outdoors, but we just thought of the bad weather and in the winter, so we moved it all indoors. Now, lately, some of the new stuff that we have that's not even on the internet, which we're working on our new site now, the train cars. We bought out from Warner Brothers, Disney. It was quite a neat collection. If you've seen the movie The Wild Wild West, the train cars, did you? I'm sure you remember it.
I grew up with that, of course.
Yeah, well, a lot of your stuff is in there. The parlor car, if you remember, it had all the gadgets, all the brass lights inside, and again, all the guns. The cabinet would open up, and the guns would all appear. A lot of that stuff, Randy, I don't know if you know it or not, this came from your place. I don't know. Did you ever? Have you been out? You haven't seen them yet, have you?
I have not seen that exhibit, but just to tell you a quick train car story. I was in California picking up a huge collection of antique signs, and I noticed this antique train station across the street from where I was. And I said, oh, my God, I can't imagine. The place really should have a big antique train sitting out in front of it. And he said to me, well, I got to tell you, I'm so mad that the city just sold their train to Volo Auto Museum in Illinois.
Gotta be quick.
And I just couldn't believe it. It was just so funny. Here I'm in California, and he's complaining that they sold the train to you.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was a heck of a story. This was in December, about mid-December. Got a call from some friends that, hey, they're selling out off the property. Disney and Warner Brothers and some other people, Universal, kept their trains there. Well, the property was sold. The trains had to go. I get a call. This was at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I remember it perfect. It says, Greg, these trains are available. Do you want them? I said, sure, I'll get back with you next week because I have to check on, moving them. They sent me a list, but how do you get trains from California to Volo? So anyway, they called me up an hour later, Randy, at 3 o'clock, and they said some guy wants to buy all of them. He already bought one locomotive. He wants to buy the rest. I had to make that decision. I says, I'll take them. Make a long story short, cost me $1 million to get them moved over here. They had to be out by January 1st.
Oh, my God.
In the winter.
It was a nightmare, but they're here. They're restored.
Wow.
And again, I got throwing a plug for you. I don't know what I've done without the Donley Auctions because I was missing so many pieces from the train, the antiques, the lighting in that. I was able to find it, the phonograph that went inside there. So, that was pretty nice being you're so local.
Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, well, we thank you.
One of my favorite things at your museum is the Bonnie and Clyde car from the movie. Is that right?
Yeah, Warren Beatty, yes.
That's right. So because we have the a gun from Clyde Barrow.
Yep, that's coming up in July.
There's a good tie in there.
But you've just opened your gangster exhibit, correct? Well, is that a new display there?
No, actually, that was done during the pandemic. Also,
okay.
I bought a collection. They had, everything is still getting completed. Now that is complete.
Wow.
It's finally done. The crime and punishment, we call it.
Yes, I saw that.
That's the nice version. It's actually a torture museum, but we don't like to use that because we thought the families would be upset because of their children.
Right.
And
family-friendly.
lo and behold, they love the torture museum. The kids, the first thing they want to see is the torture museum.
That's funny. That's funny.
But that was pretty cool.
I have to say, you have one of the best parks anywhere. It is so kid-friendly. It's all about families and the kids, and I just love everything you've done there. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not been to Volo, it's a must-do this summer. It's an absolute must-do.
VoloCars.com. Go get some tickets. They have food there. They have events every weekend. Big Father's Day festival coming up. actually this weekend, the 17th and the 18th. But Greg, I have a question. What's your favorite item in the museum, your most bizarre car that you have out there?
Probably in the Titanic exhibit, Jacob Astor's car. It's a Rolls Royce, a 1912 Rolls Royce Land O'Lakes.
Wow.
Fully restored.
Good to
That's
know.
exciting.
We're going to talk about the Titanic exhibit in the next segment. So if you can stay with us, I'd like to expand on that a little bit more, too, because we want to get a private tour. What do you think, Randy?
Oh, my
Can we get
God.
a private
Yeah,
tour of
we
that
do.
one?
Absolutely.
We definitely want to do that.
Greg Graham's
Bring your Kleenex with when you do come.
Greg Graham's is the premier collector. Greg, you are a collector. I always use this expression, on steroids, because you just have so many different fields that you go into. It is just a fabulous, fabulous ensemble.
That's right. And the great tie into that is a lot of that is purchased at auction, folks. So keep in mind, Mr. Graham's get his museum going by going to auctions as well and knowing who to buy perfect items from. So go to volocars.com. They have vintage camper, military items, music, kiddie rides, all kinds of great stuff.
Carousel, I mean, you name it.
I know. We got to get over there. So don't go anywhere because we're going to come back with Greg Graham's in our next segment. I want to talk a little bit more about the Titanic exhibit. You're listening to the Donley Auctions Hour right here on AM 560, The Answer.
You're listening to the Donley Auctions Hour on AM 560, The Answer.
Welcome back to the Donley Auctions Hour. You're here with Susan and Randy with Donley Auctions in Union, Illinois. Our friend Greg Graham's founder of Volo Museum in Volo is here with us today. Hi, Greg. Thanks for coming back.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Hey, Greg, let's talk a little bit more about the Titanic exhibit. What was your catalyst to do that? How did Greg Graham's wake up one day and say, hey, I need to add a Titanic exhibit?
Well, first of all, there's hundreds and hundreds of auto museums around in America. People call them auto museums. Titanic museums, there's 10 in the world.
Wow.
5 in America. So it's very, very difficult. You can't just open the Titanic museum. What inspired me is, if you remember from the movie The Car that they made love in, Leonardo.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
of course.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody remembers that scene.
A French luxury car it was, a 1912 Renault. Well, the car that they actually used in the movie, that was just a replica made out of fiberglass and plywood.
Ah,
There was a twin to the one that's sitting down in the bottom of the ocean. And it was from Lloyd's of London that they were able to pull up the records, and exactly because he had insurance on the car.
Oh, okay.
And they had found out what it was. It was a 1912 CX Renault. That was the only car on the boat. Anyway, there was somebody that had the other car. It's got 6 fenders on it. It's very, very unusual. We call it a prototype, but there's not another one in the world. So the one that's sitting on the bottom of the ocean is also in our museum, the other one. I mean, when we were able, this was about 2 years ago, I was able to purchase this car.
Wow.
And that started, I mean, that was the key. And there was no stopping from there. I had to have the museum.
Absolutely incredible.
So how long does it take to go through the exhibit?
The Titanic, well, yeah, you have to get a time slot because we only allow so many people in per hour. And it can take anywhere from 45 minutes, and you can stay as long as you want. There's a lot to see. There's you get to see the Titanic, all the authentic historical clothing and fashion from first, second, and third class. Now, Randy, you probably know I bought most of that stuff from your auction.
Yes, you did.
That was another thing. That was like a home run. I wanted the old fashioned, and I am starting to look under costumes on eBay, the new clothing, costumes.
Yeah.
And then when I had seen this old clothing coming up, so yeah, I had a great time. You had some really, really old clothing from 1885 to 1912.
Sure, yeah.
Up just about everything.
Just at the right time, the Wheaton Historical Society had a clothing collection that we were auctioning for them. And again, these things rarely ever come up because in most cases they stay in museums forever. This was just a lucky time slot that you were able to purchase all this just when you needed it.
Well, I think somebody up above wanted this museum to come together for people in our area here. Well, in the state, in the Midwest. But anyway, yeah, it was. I mean, the car, your clothing, and then there was just so much more. You know, it took us about 2 years and millions of dollars to put this together. Wow. And someday when you get a chance, I got to give you a tour over here.
That's right.
We can't wait to see it.
Very, very emotional.
Wow.
You can actually put your hand in the water, 28-degree water. Water freezes at 32 degrees.
Yeah.
The night that the ship went down, it was 28 degrees, the water, because of the salt, and it didn't, freeze.
Incredible.
I can't wait.
Incredible.
You can hear the 113-year-old Steinway that would have played during their last meal when the boat went down.
Wow.
There's a theater in there. You can read about the stories of all the children, men, women, entire families that had to die on the doomed Titanic.
That's right. The Titanic sank April 15th, 1912. You can see, oh my gosh, everything about it coming up at the exhibit at Volo Museum. Get your tickets at volocars.com. I believe they're $20, Greg. Is that right? $20 to see the Titanic exhibit?
Yeah, if you're going through the museum,
just that only.
For the main attraction, if you buy that, then I think it drops down to $15.
Okay, we'll be there.
I want to thank you. I want to thank you so much for coming on. And ladies and gentlemen, you have to again put it on your bucket list for this summer. You have to go to the Volo attractions, Volo Auto. It's just absolutely incredible.
That's right, and they also have train and trolley tours. So there's a lot to do there for adults and kids.
Just go to their website.
Make your way to Volo. That's right, Greg. Thank you again. We appreciate your time, and we'll see you soon.
Well, you guys are wonderful, and I thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you, Greg.
You bet,
and
Greg.
Again, to all of our listeners, that's what we're saying. Bring us your collections. You never know who's out there looking for a huge collection to buy.
You got
an
it.
Auction. So join us after the break. Don't go anywhere. We're going to keep talking about upcoming auctions. You're listening to the Donley Auctions Hour every Saturday at 1 o'clock on AM 560, The Answer.
And now, more of the Donley Auctions Hour on AM 560. The Answer.
We are back with the Donley Auctions Hour. Thank you for sticking with us during that break and our visit with Greg Grams of Volo Museum. I can't wait to go out there.
Oh, my goodness. Greg is just such a great individual and collector and so on and so forth. We were just talking off the air a minute. Greg had mentioned this, and it's so true, that we don't really own anything. We can possess it. Mm-hmm. We can possess it in our lifetime. But ultimately somebody else will get it. And it's all a matter of what you do with it while we have possession on earth here.
That's right. And Greg was saying he's a caretaker.
He is a caretaker of history. Mm-hmm. And so well said, because the last time the clothing collection that he just purchased at our auction, the last museum had it in storage. It was in boxes for 50 years. Nobody could see it. And now it's out again at his museum, where people can see it, enjoy it, and understand the past.
That's right. And we have to let our listeners know, if you have things in boxes in your garage, in your attic, your basement, get it out of there. Call us at 815-923-7000.
And we can pass these wonderful collections on to the next owner, the next set of hands, the next caretaker.
That's right.
So if you've got a collection, give us a call. But Who do we have here today?
Guess who's back? Hi, Shauna. Shauna Donley is on the line with us talking about the new venture we're on called the Donley Group. Hi, Shauna.
Hi, Dad. Hi, Susan. How are you guys?
Hey, good.
Randy's daughter.
I always get a kick out of people say to me so many times, I didn't even know your daughter was a realtor. We know her as a stunt woman. I mean, you certainly have a reputation. Everybody knows you as a stunt woman here in Chicago and, of course, all over the country. You do movies and so on and so forth. But you are a realtor right here in the city and work with who?
I work with At Properties Christie's International. I just joined them a little over a week ago. I took the Donley Group over there, and we're really excited.
Well, it's again, so funny. What was it? Just yesterday, we went into Brookfield and signed up a home.
Can you believe it? Yes. So we took the listing for a beautiful 2-flat in the cutest little neighborhood in Brookfield. So more details on that in a minute. But I'm super excited because of what we're going to be taking out of the house. Coins, jewelry, guns. I mean, it was really exciting to be there and to work with that consignor.
Well, and that's it. The gentleman's uncle had passed away, and, he actually heard us on the radio and said, what do I do with this stuff? Help. And we're there. And
exactly.
So it's
and
just...
the one thing that he kept saying, I'm sorry, but the one thing that he kept saying is, I wish I had called you sooner. And we were just so glad that we got out there when we did.
Well, yeah, absolutely, because there's all kinds of good items in this house that we'll be able to make it fit in his wallet.
That's right. I'd like to remind our listeners that if you do have something in your home or you have a home or property, give us a call at 815-923-7000. Or what's even better, just email us at consign@donleyauctions.com. What we really need are photos and a brief description of what you have and where it's located. We'll give you a call. Give us a few days to get to the right person who can kind of evaluate what you have. And we're going to give you the next steps. No problems.
But, I always like to hand out that phone number because people like myself, I really don't like to go to the computer and, chit-chat with people on the computer. I'm still a guy who likes to grab the phone.
That's right.
And if you are out there and want to do that, and all you have to do, if you want to talk to me, just ask for Randy.
That's right. We'll give you Randy's cell phone number if you're, if it's easier for you to just text a picture to him.
Sure.
We'll do that. That's easy to do. But back to Shauna, the work ethic in this family is amazing. She's got probably 2 or 3 jobs. And apple doesn't fall far from the tree in the Donley family, that's for sure. So thank you, Shauna, for starting up this Donley group with Donley Auctions.
So, absolutely. Yeah, and just for all of our listeners who do want to go online, check out our website, DonleyAuctions.com, and we have a real estate tab right at the top, and that links to me, the Donley Group, and all of our new listings.
That's great. And you have one in Chicago, too, right now. What was that?
We do, yep. This just went on the private network, so call us for that because you won't be able to access it just by Googling.
Oh, okay.
But it's on Dearborn and Division in the Gold Coast. It's a freestanding coach house, so private. It's just absolutely beautiful. Brick walls, beam ceilings, concrete floors. It's spectacular, a complete gem in the middle of the city.
Wow.
I'm excited. I can't wait to get more properties listed. Donley Auctions.
Again, we do it all. We do the property. We'll do your antiques. You name it. We're looking for it, especially whether it's one item or a whole collection. We can help you when you inherit these collections. We can, again, take care of it.
You should even mention real quick about the Wild West Town property.
Oh, yeah. We do have the entire Wild West Town property that's 24 acres, zone commercial, right out in McHenry County.
That's right. Going up for sale. And that's where Shauna got her start.
At the Wild West Town.
Wild West Town, that's right.
It certainly is in our Wild West shows.
A lot of stories there. We'll have more information on that on our website as well.
So, Shauna, I would like you to come back every week and kind of update us, as to what's going on and what you've got new listings, right?
Absolutely. I would love to. We're signing up properties left and right. The market is not slowing down, contrary to what you all may have heard. The market is on fire. We still have a shortage of inventory. We're getting multiple offers on these listings, and the buyers are out there. So it's the perfect time to sell.
Wow, that's great news.
Perfect time to sell. not only your property, but any collections that you have. One item, hundreds of items. Call Donley Auctions at 815-923-7000. We'll give you the next steps. We'll take care of it for you. It's time to downsize, folks. But don't go anywhere. We have a few more things to talk about. Right now, you're listening to the Donley Auctions Hour on AM 560 The Answer. Thank you, Shauna. We'll talk to you soon.
You're welcome. See you next week.
The Donley Auctions Hour continues now on AM 560. The Answer.
We are back with the Donley Auctions Hour. We're talking about items you may have at home that might be of value that you might want to put into one of Donley Auctions. But first, I want to thank Shauna Donley for talking about our new venture in Donley Group is the name of our new company.
Well, yeah, and she was saying that we can go, 50 states, all 50 states?
We're partners in 50 states. That's right. I want to make sure everybody knew that. Not just Illinois. We're everywhere.
You got
That's
it.
That's right. Well, right now, we just want to recap a little bit about, we are still taking consignments for future auctions. We hold auctions once a month. We have several online auctions throughout, and we're still taking consignments. So what do you got? Let us know at donleyauctions.com. Email us at consign@donleyauctions.com.
And we're always looking for cars, motorcycles, Petroliana being big porcelain signs, neon signs, everything. We even sold off a big, huge sign that was out in front of a drive-in theater.
I remember.
We're always looking for, bigger, better business signs. You name it, we want
had the sign from the Hillcrest Theater.
Hillcrest
and
Theater.
The McHenry Theater,
and the big
too,
Chicago Joe's sign that was...
Everything's big with us, isn't
on
it?
Irving.
Big, heavy stuff, that's for sure. We take small stuff, too, like coins and jewelry.
That we do. Yeah, we're taking a really nice collection out of a Brookfield estate right now.
Aren't you looking at silver, too?
Always, silver, gold, you name it.
Right. We have some staff on hand with us who are experts in those fields.
Well, Ryan's been on here already, hasn't
you've talked to Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
He knows a lot about coins and jewelry and silver.
Yeah. And I just want to always remind all of the lawyers out there and municipalities that we can help sell any statues out in the parks that you are changing at this point in time. We're selling the cannons, the tanks. Some of these things over the years have unfortunately become
garden decorations.
Well, no, in some of the municipalities, the insurance is tough because kids climbing on them, getting hurt, and that type of things. Very often, municipalities want us to sell off the tanks and cannons that used to be, prominently displayed. But insurance now is tough to get on this stuff. So
that's right. And you can still consign any items to our July 15th and 16th firearms, ammunition, and military memorabilia auction. It's coming up in July, but we need it soon. So give us a call at 815-923-7000. We have a Black Americana auction that's online now. That's coming up July 7th. That's online only. And you can access that through DonleyAuctions.com. The camera collection from the International Photography Hall of Fame in St. Louis has an auction coming up September 9th and 10th. What I want to tell everybody, though, Randy, real quick, come out to our auctions. Come out to Union, Illinois.
Yeah.
You got to come out live. We've got pizza and donuts and coffee. It's quite an event.
That's what we try to make all of our auctions events. Not just a boring...
sitting outside,
a lot of fun,
standing around. We actually have tables and chairs, so you can come out live.
And TV screens.
And you can come out live to bid at our auctions. You can call us and submit a phone bid, and I'll just be your voice for you. You can submit an absentee bid, and we have 4 bidding platforms online: AuctionZip, Invaluable, ProxyBid, and Live Auctioneers. So there's many ways to bid in an auction if you do find something you want to buy, and again, if you have something you want to sell. We do it all, big or small. Thank you, Sean Thompson, for that little
That's
tagline.
a line from Sean. And don't miss the Sean Thompson Show right here on 560.
That's right.
Every day.
He actually got us a lead the other day, I understand.
Yeah, Sean is
He's always talking about
so
us.
good. Yep.
Thank you, Sean Thompson and Shauna Donley and Greg Grams. We hope you join us again, folks, for our next week's show. For now, I'm Susan.
And I'm Randy Donley.
And we'll see you at the auction.
Thanks for listening to the Donley Auctions Hour on AM 560, The Answer. Check out all the latest information on upcoming auctions and collectibles at DonleyAuctions.com. And while you're there, you can contact someone about buying or selling your collectibles or estates. That's DonleyAuctions.com.